In just a few days, the entire crypto market, and not just the crypto markets, the entire world will be different. Why? Well, you already know it's on every headline of every news outlet all over the world. It's US elections. But see, here's the thing, guys, is it's not just the US elections that's going to change the outcome of your life. Of course not. It is what you do over the next 12 months that will radically change the outcome of your life and the position that you're in. My job here, guys, is to help you gain financial freedom. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how I'm looking at the markets and what will happen if the outcome is a Trump victory or a Kamala victory, and a little bit of altcoin alpha toward the end as well that you don't want to miss. All right, guys, if you're excited for this one, do me a favor, destroy that like button. If you're new to the channel, what's up? My name is Kyle. I've been in this space for 12 years, bringing you guys all the alpha. So this is the only place that you have to look. And I'm pretty convinced, actually, and I'll tell you about it toward the end of the video, that I have this secret of how to alleviate anxiety over the bull run, have hyper focus, and have the best risk to reward outcome. We'll talk about that in just a second. So now let's go over to the charts, guys, and how we doing over here. Well, this support line that I drew out here is looking perfect, right? We had it bounce right after support. Before it was resistance, and now it's support. And I'm very bullish. I am very bullish on the fact, if you didn't know that already, that we're not going to come back down past this line. I do think that we're here. You know, it probably will depend, you know, on the outcome of the election here. You know, if a Trump victory will probably lead toward a short-term bullishness in the market, and a Kamala win will probably be a little bit bearish for a bit of time, but I don't think either one dramatically changes the difference, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But as you can see, on the 1st of November, so on Friday, you had $55 million of outflows, not a big deal. BlackRock still at zero. BlackRock, of course, just accumulating like crazy. What do they know? The guys who control the world, what do they know that you don't know? It's probably good to pay attention. And of course, the pullback when everyone was super bullish and optimistic, leverage longs, which I said, guys, make sure that you're not using leverage right now, at least until we have more certainty in the market. Very, very dangerous. But you can see $2.5 billion of open interest was washed out pre-election because of the volatility. This is very healthy for the market. We don't want all of this futures and wound up leverage in the market. We need to unwind it from time to time. Runner XBT over here says, like, look at what happened the first days of each month. First day of October, bam, sell off. And then boom, coming back up. First day of September, sell off, and then boom, coming back up. First days of August, bam, sell off, etc., 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 etc. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. I thought that was a cool chart. And as you can see, Miles over here says it's crazy how much Bitcoin is literally following the odds of Trump winning. That should tell you something. Of course, you know, we're bullish from the crypto, more bullish on the crypto market of a Trump victory. That clearly is going to be a better outcome long-term for crypto and Bitcoin. However, I don't think at the end of the day, it's going to be effective. Like if Kamala ends up winning, I don't think that it gets over and the crypto markets are doomed and we're not going to make any money. We should sell, we could be out. No. And poly markets over here, like, I have less faith in this as an outcome of the election. But as you can see, it's no longer a massive, massive leaping gap for Trump, but still huge lead, 57.7 versus 42. That's a massive gap in percentage points there, but it's not the overall deciding outcome. Nate Silver, generally pretty unbiased. Polling outlet shows Trump just as of yesterday, and that's probably going to be the last day that the polls come in. Trump at 51.1 and Harris at 48.5. And Fubar over here says, Xerox Fubar says, election hot takes, whoever wins Pennsylvania wins it all. Unfollow anybody who confuses poll percentage with probability of winning. Early voting is less predictive than raw polls. Prediction markets are supposed to fluctuate, volatile swings as we approach expiry. Sometimes it really is 50-50. And the takeaway is whoever wins Pennsylvania wins it all. And as you can see over here from Nate Silver's post that was made today, you can see that when it comes to Pennsylvania from last week, it is up a 0.1 percentage points. The margin is 0.4%, and predicting a Trump victory in Pennsylvania. However, this is within margin of error. It's too close to tell. This really is a coin toss at this time, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how this is actually true, but like, probably because I live on crypto Twitter and it's heavily biased and I live in a bubble, an echo chamber of pro-crypto people who want to see Trump win, right? Is that probably why? Like, I mean, we all want to see, we're all financially motivated by his victory. But more than that, like genuinely as an American, I just like, it just seems to me so much like the Dems are in control of the deep state, and the Republicans really want to fight that and bring the constitutional America back that it was founded on, which is bullish in my opinion as a American who, just 8 years ago, 7 years ago when I left the States, was really kind of have given up on the States. And it's kind of a sad thing, to be honest, seeing Trump and Musk and Kennedy and, Vance, all those guys talk about, just good old foundational American principles gave me kind of bullish again on it. So I do hope that happens, we'll see. But as T's Nuts over here says, if Trump doesn't win, crypto will be fine. And if it isn't, it wasn't going to be magically fixed by election either. Under Dems, we've had multiple ETF launches, Fink becoming a Bitcoin simp, and we hit new all-time highs, which is true, right? And so with 4 more years of bad regulation by enforcement, it's very not good for America in crypto, but it's just the same thing that we've had the last 4 years, which have been pretty damn good actually. And over here, JB Morgan says that it estimates 67% of chance Trump victory, forecasting 5% USD rise on a red sweep and 1.5 to 2% of the split in Congress. So JP Morgan looking at a Trump victory, and the US presidential election average return on BTC from each cycle. So this is averaging out post-election, 1 month, 23%, 3 months, 105%, and 6 months, 470%. Pretty damn good results. If your Bitcoin is appreciating 4.5 times, then your altcoins are doing 20 and 30. Oh yeah. And as Bob Lucas says over here, Bitcoin doesn't care about all the narratives. It's now starting year 3 of a 4-year cycle where almost all the gains since inception have occurred. Ignore the noise. I'm going to show you more on this in just a second here, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, there's a lot of talk about Bitcoin dominance. Of course, when Bitcoin dominance falls off a cliff, like this is insinuating over here, that's when altcoin season kicks in. But as I've said on multiple different outlets and on this channel before, there is a world in my mind that exists where people around the world recognize Bitcoin as a store of value. All the world governments, institutions start adopting it, and there's no more supply left. It's mad supply shock, and Bitcoin dominance continues to just outperform everything else, and Bitcoin sucks all the liquidity out of everything else. We've seen Bitcoin suck liquidity out of things before. It's not unlikely to happen. So being completely underexposed to Bitcoin is a huge mistake, in my opinion. You may have seen that I've been accumulating Bitcoin quite heavily the past few months. Of course, this barbell strategy, right? We want to have exposure to some good memes, some great altcoins, and Bitcoin, in my opinion. Now, as you can see, historically, whenever Bitcoin rips, right? So back here, when Bitcoin broke out over here in 14th December 2020, when it broke all-time highs, at the same period of time, you had altcoins which were just getting back to their baseline. But as soon as it broke out, that's when alts started to actually really fly, right? So Bitcoin leads the breakout, and once Bitcoin blasts through all-time highs, typically that's when alts start to really crush and catch up. But they do lag quite a bit. So, let's say that we have Bitcoin break all-time highs maybe this week, but probably not until maybe the end of next week. Or if Kamala wins, maybe it's going to be, all the way till December or January. I don't know for sure. We shall see. But even when we do, it's still going to take time for retail to come back in and capital to rotate into alts. So I'm not expecting aggressive alts run until January, in my own personal opinion. But that's just my 2 cents. That could happen sooner, but that's what I'm thinking. And Dan Crypto Trades over here says, of course, in the last month, memes still outperforming, layer one's next to that, and then not too much else after that. DeFi a little bit, but still quite slow in other sectors outside of memes. And as you can see over here, we have Dogecoin. Dogecoin has got $7 billion of new capital coming into this thing in the past month, right? So it's been leading the way as kind of one of these OG memes. And in my opinion, it's already at 22, 23 billion. This is a very, very, very safe blue chip, not financial advice, but when it comes down to blue chip meme coins, of course, this is one of the goats, and this thing will continue to run. Of course, it has been lagging compared to some of the other things, but it's far less risky. Again, right, as it gets bigger market cap, less risk, less reward. But this thing still has a 5x, puts it over all-time high at 110 billion. Could this thing go to 200 billion this cycle? Probably. 10x from here, 8x from here. But the point is really after this is what happens after Doge. So if Doge starts really rallying hard, these middle class alts, the new ones that have kind of established themselves, like the WIF, the Pepe, SPX, the Goats, Popcats, MOG, these ones will start to run really, really hard. And so that's the idea. And these are the ones in like the 1 billion-ish plus 1 to 5 billion market cap, right? I do think it's good to have some exposure on those ones as well. And as we look into a bit more of what's going on over here at the GOAT, I'll tell you why we're talking about GOAT. One, I got a huge position in it and I'm pretty bullish, but not as bullish as one of my researchers over here. And I included it in the show because he shared his deck screener thing. And he has no idea. I haven't talked to him. He's still sleeping right now. But this is all his buys, right? As you can see, like he's been aggressively buying the whole way and even just as much as yesterday, continue to buy a bunch. Like his bullishness and like pure hard conviction is, and him providing me with all this information here about what's going on over there, which is good because I have a big bag too of GOAT. It's literally why I got the cap. So anyway, Drago says over here, obviously a volatile week, but GOATs, a few arguments, a 55% retracement, which is good, right? You want to see like 50 to 70% retracements. And generally that's a pretty good time to buy in. It could go down again, more 70, 80% plus, but I do think it's interesting. Wintermute coming to start market making apparently, and they've accumulated now 2.2%. You just had the highest 2-hour candle in volume on Binance Perps after a day of breaking under 500 million, a level which would claim just now. Anecdotally, lots of people I know that want to buy or buy back with different targets. Not sure if they'll get the ideal buying prices. Truth Terminal this is key. Truth Terminal has been upgraded and can now post pictures and videos. I'll show you this in just a second. Andy, the guy who created Truth Terminal, regained control of his account and is constantly upgrading Terminal of Truth's capabilities. Other memes that have done well in interim, especially new ones, seem very fleeting. Don't think any of them have the same staying power. You can obviously dump back for lows depending on what happens this week. But anyway, this does seem pretty bullish, as you can see over here. If you were to draw this line down here, it is probably breaking that trend right now. Huge volume spike over here. This is the one on Binance Perps. And as you can see, this is one of the videos that Truth Terminal made for itself over here, right? This is the GOAT in the back room. This is a pretty bare bones implementation of Luma Labs AI, simple text to video with no editing. Truth Terminal can't see them yet, so it's basically just tweets blindly. Seems like it's having fun though. Implementation is open source. C branch here, right? And Andy says the next step for Truth Terminal is go to websites. So I just think this GOAT meta continues to run. Now, this is what I wanted to go show you guys. This was brought to my attention from Coach K. And as you can see over here, last cycle, this didn't hold true. So we're looking at one of two types of cycles here, likely, right? And they played out quite differently. So last cycle, what happened is from November, essentially from now, right? So like you could see basically from middle of October or beginning of November, where we look at it, was kind of like up only aggressively until May, right? Like late April, early May, up 600, almost 700%, 7x for the crypto total market cap, right? Huge. And then it had this massive 55% retracement, And then it took 6 months essentially to come back to the where it was before, the all-time highs before that. And then even after that, it only went up another 18% above these all-time highs. So you could have been best off in this whole bull run if you had just tried to sell right around here. And then if you knew what was coming, if you knew that more liquidity would come in, then you could buy back over here. But that's like hindsight is always easy. But the point I want to make here is that, look, like versus 2017, if we go down here, look at the 2017 cycle, it wasn't at all the same, right? So that would be the equivalent of saying November 2016, which was here, right? And it basically was really quiet. 2017 was a bull run, but 2017 bull run didn't really start to get parabolic until the middle summer. And then boom, really went parabolic all the way at the end, right? All the way at the end until about the 1st of January, and then bam, fell off a cliff, right? So you really got all of in the last half of the year is when you got all of your gains, versus over here, the first half of the year is where most of the gains came in, fell off a cliff, and then another one. So what I want to say here is that now is a time to position. Now is a time to get into the market, in my opinion. And the projects that I think are still way undervalued are ones that are going to give retail good opportunities. For example, Paid Network and CommonWealth, two projects that I've created. Of course, very, very bullish on these as I'm still actively very, very involved. And as you guys may or may not know, we have this new narrative of LCOs, and there's updates. So Blast Royale, in order to not compete with the election attention, is now launching next week. Early pool is the 11th and open pool on the 12th, and token generation on the 13th. If you guys have not registered in KYCd, make sure that you go do that here. Link.paidnetwork/Blast Royale. So my thesis here, right? My thesis on the bull run. If you participate in things like Paid is doing with LCOs, you're getting a $10 million valuation. Look at these stats, by the way, for Blast Royale. 1 million app downloads, 85,000 daily active users, backed by people like Dragonfly, Mechanism, Animoca, $10 million FDV for you. Almost 5x cheaper than the last VC round. And you're getting into this thing, amazing opportunity here. And so Paid Network is completely paving the way of the way that communities are being built, cults are being built. And in my opinion, instead of having to look all over the place and trying to get into gems and PvP and people dumping on you and blah, 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 attention everywhere, if you just do these LCOs, because Paid is heavily vetting these projects and looking for the best projects or the best founders or the best backers that have the best chance of success, and then helping to build a community around these projects. So guys, I need you, this is my call to you, to get into these projects with me, with the founders, with other KOLs, and let's build a community around good projects like Blast Royale and others that are coming soon. And I believe if we just focus on these, the founders who really care about growing community, together, we're gonna have the best bull run ever, way better than buying these projects to go straight to exchange or do these low flow, high FDV launches, whatever, right? And so if you just do Paid Network and you do CommonWealth, by the way, this is so awesome. Look, someone, my groom's cake, right, for a wedding, the CommonWealth cake, All Street. These are true. This is what happens when you have, there's 56,000 wallet holders on CommonWealth right now. And I know it's slow because it's a new product and it takes time for it to be built. But I guarantee you CommonWealth is one of the most innovative and unique projects in the space that is sick. Like, it's just amazing. It's a fully decentralized fund platform where people can get into the best projects in crypto, vetted by some of the best investors in crypto. And it's building All Street, one of the best cult-like communities in the world. And I'm really excited for what they're doing at CommonWealth. And yeah, if you're not following CommonWealth, go do that over here at Join CommonWealth. Really amazing project, guys. And Bitsmiley is really cool too. I'm an investor in it, so I'm just gonna tell you about it since it's coming up. But Bitsmiley essentially is the Maker DAO. So you can collateralize native Bitcoin, essentially, and then mint a stable coin. And it's collateralized with your Bitcoin, so you can get yield on your Bitcoin. It's exactly like Maker on Bitcoin, but Maker's valuation right now, it's $1 billion, right? And all-time high was much, much higher. This one says 5.5 billion, right? So 5.5 billion for Maker's all-time high. And this was on Bitcoin. So collateralized, this is really cool. Essentially allowing you to earn native yield on your Bitcoin. This is a really valuable product. Of course, it needs insurance. And so one of my favorite insurance plays is coming up. When I'm ready to tell you guys about that, I will. But insurance is something that I think is massively missing in the markets, which I have a portfolio company that I invested in recently that I cannot wait to tell you guys about. And last but not least, we have Cosmic. I told you guys about it the other week, but I just wanted to update you on this as well, as it's gaining traction. And I still think it's undervalued from an opportunity perspective here, but just go try it out, right? Like, just go try it out first. If you like the product, you think it's cool, if you think it's better than the things that you're using already, then maybe you want to consider taking a look at the token, for example, and being part of what's going on right now. So as you can see over here, Cosmic has hosted nodes for half an ETH each, and you earn 20,000 Cosmic tokens annually. And the nodes get a percentage share of revenue in the network. So I think that and they also have a centralized exchange listing for MEXC that just happened, many partnerships, et cetera, et cetera. So they're making progress. They've got 5,000 VPN downloads. And I think this is really cool when people are out there innovating. Go try out the product yourself. If you like it, then look at the token ecosystem potentially more and look at getting involved, right? Something like this could be very big one day, and quite bullish on it. All right, guys, that's a wrap up today. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.